Welcome to the KTVA Weather Lab. Today we're going to be learning all about air pressure and how you can change the amount of space air takes up if you change the temperature of the air. So to do this weather experiment, first of all, you'll need 2 glass containers. I like to use these glass vases. You'll also need a plastic bottle like this one. I got this after drinking some yummy orange juice. You'll need a regular old latex balloon. You'll also need some ice. And you'll need some hot boiling water. And of course, you'll need the help of a grown-up for that one. So what we're first going to do is we're going to trap the air inside this bottle with the balloon. So I just placed the balloon on top. That way the air that's inside cannot escape. If that air starts to move, expand, or contract, we'll be able to see that happening because the balloon will start to move. So what you'll first want to do is fill up the smaller jar, or if they're the same size, it's okay, with the hot water. Now we're going to heat that air inside the bottle up by placing it inside the hot water, and watch that balloon closely and see what is happening. Do you see how the balloon is starting to rise? So what happened is the molecules inside the air started to move around very quickly when they were heated up. As they moved around very quickly, they start bumping into each other and they start to expand. But when that air starts to expand, it needs more room. It takes up more space. And so it started to rise and began to fill up the balloon. So now our balloon is also full of that same air that was inside the bottle. Now we're going to change the temperature of the air inside that bottle by putting it in some cold water. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add some ice in here to make sure that that water is really nice and cold. Fill it up nice and good. Handfuls of cold ice into here. If you don't have any ice, you could use snow. That would work too. Okay, so make sure that that water is nice and cold and watch that balloon very closely, and let's see what happens when we cool the air down inside the bottle. You see it happen there? Already the balloon is beginning to deflate. So just like when we heated those air molecules up, they started to move around. The opposite happens when you cool air molecules down. So they start to contract. They get closer together. They get slower and they start to sink to the bottom of the bottle. And when that happens, all of the air that used to be inside this pink balloon deflated and went down inside the bottle. And if you watch closely, that balloon is even starting to get sucked even lower and lower down inside the bottle as those air molecules start to contract. You can think of this like when you go out to recess and you're running around and you take up this space on the playground. When you come back inside, you're much slower, right? You have to get in line, listen to your teacher, and get back into your desk. And when that happens, you all of a sudden take up a lot less space. And that's what happened to the air inside the bottle. So again, we change the pressure of the air by changing its temperature, by heating it up and cooling it down. And this exact same thing happens outside with air and the weather when it gets heated by the sun and gets cooled when there is no sun or when it's night. And that's how we get wind moving across the globe. So we can heat the air up and it expands, and then we can cool that air down and it will start to contract. And all of that air all of a sudden takes up a whole lot less space. So now that our balloon is completely down inside the bottle, we have to get it out. How are we going to get this balloon out of this bottle? Can you see it's sucked all the way inside? Well, we know one way, right? We can heat up the air inside here, expand it, and see if we can get the balloon out. Let's try it. We're going to put the bottle back inside. There it goes. As the air started to rise and expand, as those molecules are heated up, it went right back up into the balloon. So this is a fun weather experiment. You can try it over and over. Try it with different temperatures of water and see what happens. Make sure you take those pictures and videos and send them to us on email at weather@ktva.com. Until next time, thanks for joining us on the KTVA Weather Lab.